We'll try it here. It's an awkward place for me to put the camera. It's slick on these pine needles. But it's hard to find a place to get it where the camera won't fall when you're on a hill. Okay, Houtinia cordata. This is a wonderful herb, very antiviral and a lot of other things. We'll talk a little bit more about that as I'm tincturing it. It's got pine pollen all over it, so I'm going to have to wash it good because I hadn't really planned on putting pine pollen in my tincture. No, I didn't get any pine pollen this year. I want to, where you take a sack and you put it over a branch of the pine tree and you shake it, you get a bunch of the pollen, and you can mix it in and extend your flower with it. And I really wanted to do that. I guess it's really good for you. I need to study a little more on it. I forget a lot of things I've studied in the past. And, but anyway, back to the Houtinia cordata. This stuff is very evasive, so I've got it growing in a swimming pool. And I'm looking for good, strong, young leaves the best I can, the prettiest ones I can find. Anyway, it's very evasive, but so I'm growing it in a pool, and I'm gonna need quite a bit for the tincture. My family all get sick and my tinctures go fast. Always giving it to friends and family, and so at least I can grow my own on this one. And we'll see how the tincture goes. Tinctures are fairly simple. Really not, I've only got an 80 proof liqueur. So you can get something called Everclear, which is like 100 proof. But most, not all maybe, but most of your plants, 80% will work. So I'm hoping the 80% works on this one. Because I've not seen a lot of people talk about it, much less tincture it. But it is a wonderful, you know, I went through the whole winter. The last several years I had gotten sick with bad viruses and stuff since 2020. But this year I had my tinctures, these particular tinctures that I use. This is one of them. I did not get a cold or a flu once. A couple times I started to feel bad, and as soon as I felt the tiniest tickle in my throat or the tiniest bit of upset tummy, I ran and took my tinctures. There's a specific 4 plus my licorice root that I always mix with them. Licorice root is like a booster. It boosts them, makes them work even better. And I did not get sick. It's the first full year I've had the tinctures. I got them just before I moved up here. I was learning about them. But right after I got really bad sick in 2021, I got a hold of these, and I have not been sick since. And not only that, but one of the health doctors I had went to several years back, I took a test for SIBO. It's bacteria that gets in your small intestine. She was sure I had it, but the test came out negative. She goes, I know it came out negative, but I think the test just failed. She said sometimes the test will fail. She says, I really believe that's what you have. I didn't know, but I wasn't going to go on that diet. I really can't afford to buy a lot of special foods and this and that. But when I started taking these, that was several years back, when I started taking these tinctures, that part of my gut problems disappeared. It cleared it right up. Now, I'm not saying that it cures SIBO or whatever, but for me it did. I still have my blockage, but I don't have the other part. There were different symptoms. And I'm hoping this will be enough. I don't think so. I really want to make quite a bit of tincture with this because I just have so many people different ones in the family that get sick that I want to help. But yeah, these are fantastic. I get them from Woodland Essence and Sage Woman, what I don't make myself. And it's Lomatin. I guess that's how you say Lomatium. I'm not sure how you say that. Chinese skullcap, not American skullcap. I used to grow American skullcap. I didn't get any of that up here. But it is Chinese skullcap. Now, I have heard, I don't know the testing on it, that the root of Chinese or of American skullcap is very similar to the plant of Chinese skullcap. I don't know though. There's just some speculation that it might be similar in helping with similar things. But the top part of the Chinese skullcap is one of the most beneficial herbs for so many medicinal things. Oh wow, we'll go into that separately someday. I'd like to find a plant and grow it myself. But okay, Chinese skullcap, Lomatium, licorice root. What am I forgetting? Isatis. Isatis is wonderful. There's one more. Right now it's not coming to mind. I'm thinking there's one more. Oh, the Hutinia cordata. Anyway, some you don't want to take longer than 4 to 6 weeks. Others, like this one here, you could eat it. I put leaves in my salad. Not a lot because it's very powerful flavor, but I will put a few just for a little accent flavor once in a while in my salad. And yeah, this is an awesome herb. But you want to get the one that has a citrusy flavor, not the one that has the fishy flavor. Weed. That weed grows everywhere, but I don't know of any good benefit of it. There's got to be one. That one I just pulled out and threw over there. Went up looking for some places to buy, a place to buy for my daughter, way back in the boonies. I mean, it takes an hour to get out of there. But just to get out of the canyon, it's all burnt. The trees are all burnt around, but in that ravine, it just kind of jumped over the ravine. There's a creek running through it, and it's beautiful. And there was comfrey plants taller than me and way bigger around than these little pools. Never seen comfrey like that. It was growing everywhere. It was awesome. I thought, wow, I would never run out of comfrey there. I have never seen comfrey grow like that. They like it down in that ravine. But anyway, it's a beautiful little place. We'll see what happens. Yeah, my comfrey here is kind of pitiful. Everything's pitiful. It's all curling up and dying on me. Someone told me that, one of y'all told me that the madrone has a fungal thing on it. But I've lived up here before, and it never affected my garden back then. Why is it affecting my garden now? I really don't think it's the fungal from the madrones, because I've lived up here when I was little, and then I raised my kids part of the time up here. And we never had that problem in our gardens. So I don't think that's what this is. Now it's not affecting these leaves too bad. I have seen 1 or 2 leaves that curled back. These seem to be fighting it, whatever it is. So this might really be a good tincture to take. Whatever is going on, this one seems to be fighting it pretty well. So leaves are looking really good. I've only ran across 1 or 2 that kind of wrinkled a little. Whereas a lot of my other plants are just wrinkling up, and some have died, some aren't dead, and they're trying to keep on growing. So they're trying to fight it, whatever it is. I don't know. And, but my Hutinia cordata is really doing good with it. Okay, I'm hoping that'll be enough. If not, I'll have to come pick some more. And depending how long this is, I may take you along with me. Take you along in the making of the tincture. We'll see. Okay, I did find, I'm always looking for plants, so I did find, look what I found when I went with my daughter. It's a little baby mullein plant, so we'll see how it does. Hopefully I got enough of the root that it'll make it. I don't know. I didn't get much, but the ground was kind of hard where I found the baby and pulled it up. But yay! Okay, you guys, if you don't have a salad spinner, this is awesome. I'm going to go over to the hose because I don't have running water inside right now. And wash these up, spin it out, and then we'll finish working on the tincture. Okay, I got my jar, and I need to pack this jar pretty good. So I got part of these washed. Oh, I need the top and spin out as much water as possible because water can cause mold. Okay, I got the top on my salad spinner. I use this salad spinner so much. It's so steep right here in the front of my trailer. I just step one step back and I'm in the camera. That should be pretty good. That'll have a lot of the water out of it. Oh yeah, it got quite a bit of water. Okay, I'm just going to, now the stem parts that I got were pretty soft. I picked the top part of the stem and leaf. So it should do pretty good in cutting up. And the reason you don't want to just put it in the jar, you could, but you want as much surface area as possible to extract all the goodness out of the plant. So I'm going to cut these plants up real small. Now I could put them in a blender, but then it gets so small it's hard to strain it when it comes time to strain after it's set a while. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and cut, I got a few stems after I cut on those leaves. But they're real tender. I'm going to go ahead and cut the stems too and use them. And then I'm just going to stuff my jar. I don't know if you can see all of that, but I'm starting to stuff my jar. I'm going to finish doing that the rest of the way. Now it looks like it's full, but it's very loose. So we don't want to pack it super hard down because we need the extracting liquid, which I'm using an 80 proof vodka. We want it to get down there, but gently just pack it down, and look how much more room I have in my jar to put more leaves that have all the good stuff in it. In Japan, Japan, they have a different name for it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Japanese name, but it means poison blocking. Isn't that neat? They make tea and they make a lotion with it too. This is just a fascinating plant. In India, they make a decoction of it for cholera and diarrhea, dysentery. There's so many things. In Nepal, they use the fresh juice of the root for indigestion, and they use it topically as well for like skin diseases. And they use it in eye drops for eye infections, and the juice of the leaf is dripped into wounds to prevent infection, to kill maggots in the wounds, and to accelerate healing. But as crazy as our world is getting in situations, these are things to know. I think some people probably use this as a ground cover. I'm not certain on that, but I would think it would make the way it grows. It almost looks like, it really doesn't look like ivy, but almost gives me that feeling when it's growing. Yeah, this is a very interesting plant. Your fresh plant and your tincture is much more beneficial than the dried. This is just one of those plants, and that's something that I'm learning. And I had dried some of the leaves and I was going to make a tincture, and then as I got to studying it more, I found it really isn't that good as good dried. So I was waiting for it to come back this spring, which it has. And now I'm going to make a tincture. They also pound the juice out of it. And look at it a little bit more here. Yeah. And you can, like I was telling you, they drop the juice into wounds and stuff like that. It's antibacterial, it's antiviral as a tincture. It's really good. Or you can make a juice for orally, like you can make a mouthwash with it, I guess. I think I'm going to put some of my tincture in my homemade mouthwash. And you can mash the plant and make a paste and apply it to wounds and bites. And if you make a decoction, you'll want to allow it to cool and then use it as an external wash. Some people make a tonic with it. But yeah, the tincture should be made with the fresh leaves. I'm not a drinker, but this is great for extracting the good stuff. You only take a little bit of a tincture. So this is an 80 proof vodka. It's non-MGO, GMO, excuse me. I couldn't find organic. I probably couldn't have afforded it if I did. So, yeah, we're going to pour this over our plant material. If for some reason I missed a little bug or something, I didn't see any bugs even when I washed it. The vodka, the high alcohol content, would kill anything like that. It's going to sterilize it for that type of a thing. So, wow, I'm going to have just enough for this jar. Now I'm going to want to shake this for the first couple weeks until it starts, the plants kind of will fall down more as time goes. But I don't know if you can see here, there's a little bit of plant material at the top. I'm going to go get something and try to make sure there's no air bubbles in here and push it down a little bit. You've got to be shaking it to make sure the material keeps covered with the alcohol every day so that it doesn't mold, especially being fresh plant material. I have a wooden chopstick that I only use for my, back off. Try to keep it covered when I'm walking around so bugs don't fly in it. But yeah, I'll go all around, make sure there's no, and there is some little air bubbles in there. We're trying to get all those little air bubbles out. So, yeah. I love this chopstick, it works great. These plants want to come out. Back down under that stuff, you guys. Get under there. Yeah, I talk to my plants. Okay, I'm going to cover that up. Put it in a dark, cool place. Well, I'm going to kind of keep it out a little bit so I can remember to shake it. And I'll leave it in here a couple months. And then I think I'm going to make a double tincture, which means I'm going to take all the material out, cut more material, and pour this back on top of the other material and make it double strength. That way it's good and strong medicine. Okay, it's been about a day. It's not the same color already. The extraction process has begun. I've been shaking it. Make sure that you label your product, what it is. I put Houtinia cordata tincture, your date, and you can also put what you extracted it with. I know I basically always use the 80 proof vodka. Once in a while I'll use a brandy or honey or vinegar maybe. Then I would put what I extracted it with. But when it's clear like this, I kind of have a system. I know what I've got, but you can't tell what the plant is, so you definitely have to put the plant on your label because you may think you know, but you'll forget. And it starts looking a little different. If you can notice in one day's time, the color's even different already. So, yeah. I thank you for coming along with me. I hope you enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up if so. I thank the Lord for all the herbs that He's given us for food and medicine. I will catch you guys next time. Hope you have a blessed day.